That looks really nice there. You can see how nervous Forrest, of course. Yeah, it looks like that TC is still the dominant buck. I guess that it's always good to start the week off with a deer fight, which is what we had going out here just a minute ago. Not those two right there, which is TC and somebody else. But there is 5 bucks out there this morning, 5. And I just telling Chris that I took that battery out of that feeder. That buck is plumb wild. He's obviously gonna run away with me out here talking. See if I can get as good a look at him as I possibly can. Pardon the jumping around. There he is, but really hard to get much of a look at. Big boy's over here. That's little buddy. TC, who was in the fight with that one that just ran off, and Forrest. I don't know where the other deer is. It's the other deer running out there. A wild deer. And there goes that big buck right there, his tail. You see the white tail up in the air like that? It means adios, adios mi amigos. Exactly what it means. Actually, these bucks are going off. Tell you what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go throw real quickly. It's cold out here. I'm in short sleeves. Well, real quickly, I'm gonna go out and throw some feed, and I bet you some of them will come back in. Look at that big rascal right there, big TC, big wide, beautiful buck. Get these antlers week started off with some antlers. It's hard to find antlers here lately. But there they go right there, a bunch of antlers walking through the woods. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A bunch of antlers going through the woods. Look at all those. Those are our boys right there. Forrest, little Buddy, and TC. The other two skedaddled. That's okay. They'll be back. Well, it did not take long for my boys to answer the dinner bell. And this is good right here. This is really, really good. My boys answered the dinner bell, all 3 of them. I'm just gonna walk out here a little bit. Even Forrest, you can see, is, look at him. Hi, baby. Hi, Forrest. Actually, TC is probably less nervous than Forrest. Hey, guys. Hey, guys, have you something to eat there? That looks really nice there. You can see how nervous Forrest, of course. Yeah, it looks like that TC is still the dominant buck from what I just saw right there. Any of the arguments they have right now will simply be over food. And you see TC, he wants to cover the entire, that's why I spread it out in a pretty big area right there. Look at Forrest, even with those couple broken tines, he's still a big, beautiful boy. As it's spread out where everybody can get some, you can see even the first set of horns, Buddy over there is able to get some. TC's trying to control the entire thing the best he can. I'm gonna give you a really good close look at these antlers because this is just so impressive when you zoom in on them. That collar, you notice, is showing a lot more as Forrest's neck swollen up, has gone down a little bit. The collar is definitely not tight on him at all. Didn't even really get real tight because it's a soft collar. It stretches really, really wide, so it's not bad. You can look at a look at that guy right there. How good is that? But you see him backing away even from me. And I just fed him some carrots a couple days last week. And you can see, of course, looking at that, how big that guy is. And Buddy back in the background is gonna be really big as well. So everybody's looking good. You can see he's got some stuff broken off also, the end of that. But that's just, they do a lot of fighting. We have a lot of bucks. And so it's very competitive during the rut. Very, very competitive during the rut. But everybody's looking good. Everybody's here, and I'm gonna come out and set that feeder. Taking care of Chris right now. But I'm gonna go out and set that feeder, the time on it, and make sure it's throwing all during the daytime. I saw Forrest out here the other night, in the middle of the night, about 2 o'clock. I was getting ready to go to bed, and before I looked out here, and here's Forrest out here eating. So it's probably going off in the middle of the night, which I don't want it doing that. I want it throwing during the daytime. But that's still a lot of antlers here early in the week. Well, it looks like the wild deer decided to come back also. We'll zoom in there and take a look. There's a beautiful doe right over there. There's a little baby in there eating with them. There's another doe. And there's that other big buck that, watch here. That TC's got a little rule in that too, doesn't he? That's the other buck that, when I went outside first this morning, those guys were hooking it up horn-wise. Not a serious fight, as in a rut fight, but just still a little domination. TC's wanting to rack him there a little bit, you can tell. And that buck is wanting the food, so he's not really paying a whole lot of attention. That is a doe, and it's not that little one-horn buck. He acts like they're getting ready. He wants to rack him there a little bit. Now, here we go. Come on, guys, give us a little show. Look how much wider. That's a big, beautiful buck right there. Totally wild buck. He's a big one, beautiful. I don't think that's Fat Boy. It may be. Fat Boy, you know, is kind of short and stubby and big. Got a couple big boys right there also. That's Forrest. That's Forrest right there, and Buddy. Burn barrels. Isn't it wonderful to have burn barrels? Those of you that live in the city might remember back when you were kids, you had burn barrels. Yeah. Some of you still have burn barrels if you live out in the boonies like Chris and I do. Just Chris and I here for the weekend. We've had guests during the week. My buddies from Virginia came down and hog hunt. They missed a couple of hogs, and the only ones that we did catch 8 in a trap. Bobby Click, our agriculture department. They did shoot a big coyote, though, which is good. And Bobby's caught 13 coyotes. So we are minus 14 coyotes on that, which every time you do that, you're saving baby fawns. And we keep working on them during the winter. Come April and May and June and July and August and September, we should have more baby fawns this year, which is fantastic. But you can see we have antlers this morning, by golly. Yes, we do. We'll get that feeder running better, and we'll have a lot more. And especially, of course, the food will get a little bit less, and we'll be feeding those deer alfalfa too. Patchy was down this morning and early, and I visited with him quite a bit. The boys from Virginia, I keep saying West Virginia. Virginia is Virginia, whether it's Virginia or West Virginia. But they left a lot of food, which I gave the majority of that to Apache. Did save a little spaghetti. They made some really good spaghetti. Most of that's going to Apache as well. But he said he could eat on all that for a whole week, and that's probably true. They didn't eat nearly as much as they'd intended to, or they must have been hungry when they bought food for this trip. But anyway, they went back with 8 pigs that we caught in the trap. Probably catch pigs in the trap today. That'd be about par, wouldn't it? But it's all good at the Eagle this morning. Yes, sir. Chris and I have some Oklahoma basketball to watch. That's always a fun deal. Girls and boys both playing today. We'll see what happens. Conference has started. The Big 12, you can play really well and end up with a losing record. Gosh, those deer are pretty. Look at that big boy. Stiff walking. What a deal. Every time I look out, I got more deer out there. Every time I glance out there, there's more deer. They must be coming up out of the ground. They are really enjoying that South Fresh deer food. South Fresh out of Decatur, Alabama. If you're anywhere in the South, you need to be getting your deer food from South Fresh. Extremely good deer food. Extremely good fish food. You know, we don't feed our fish during the winter because those bluegill go out deep and stay out in the deep water. We got some beautiful, beautiful does and fawns running around out there. Those are wild does and fawns. None of them have any tags in their ear. We should have Red Tag coming back here with her baby sometime pretty soon. As the food gets more scarce in the woods, obviously the feeder becomes more important to the deer. And the alfalfa becomes important to them. But we have people ask, don't you have any does and fawns? We have a lot of does and fawns. Not a tremendous amount of them hang out. You can see that TC is just greedy. But all those does and fawns run around, and he just can't cover the whole territory. He thinks he can, but he leaves it open. Some of the other deer, they just keep eating. Just keep eating. But there's a nice little bunch of does and fawns. And maybe I'll go out in the front yard. We'll see what happens. There we go, guys and girls. There we go, my boys. My boys. I never get tired of looking at them. There they are, as pretty as ever. They're just a little spooky. So hard to understand. Look at TC. He's out there eating. He wants to turn around and just walk away. Look at that. Just because I come out here and started talking, Forrest, he says, I'm not walking anywhere. Yeah, maybe TC saw a girl over there. He's sitting there staring off out there. He might have, he's still interested in a girl, even though the girls are not interested in him. He said, well, I think I'll go back and eat a little food. Forrest, on the other hand, is more interested in food than about anything else. I don't know. He says, what are you looking at there, Dad? Is she pretty? What are you looking at? They're looking at something out there. Isn't that pretty? Gets that backdrop of that lake. Golly. And their little friend, Buddy. Oh, Buddy's a pretty one. Y'all remember back when he had that little plastic pipe or whatever it was on his foot? Thought it was a trap to begin with. Got a really good close look at it. It's simply a little bit of 4 or 5 inches of a PVC pipe, it looked like. He stepped in just right, but it's gone. It's off of there now, so he's good. He's good. Forrest is good. TC is still concentrating on something else. Whatever he was concentrating on, he's going to go on. All right, guys. That's a pretty boy right there. I don't care who you are or how many big deer you're around. He's got to pee right in the middle of the whole dang thing. Forrest, that's ugly. That is ugly. I think he might be doing more than peeing. It's not exactly a picture you want to put on a postcard right there. That's for sure. What's he looking off down there now? He's looking out in the water or something. Must be some deer coming up on the bank of the lake or something. Now that is a picture you might want to put on a postcard right there. Yeah, he's watching something over there. I don't see anything moving over there, but there obviously is something or somebody. That's for sure. Something got his attention. All right, big boy. Enjoy. Oh, almost got to look at Prince Charming. As he went into the building. A couple of hen turkeys walking around, two or three. A few more hens out that way, or gobblers, I don't know which. Saw a little buddy out there, looks like Forrest. Back in behind the hummingbird feeder, which is frozen. I looked at that the other day and knew I needed to take it down. Probably broken. When it thaws out, it'll probably be leaking. 26 degrees. I'm not sure that's Forrest. That's Mr. Forrest. Yeah, sure as the world, that's Mr. Forrest. Licking his chops. I saw Buddy out there somewhere. Might be behind a tree. Yeah. Looks like Prince Charming. Gosh, he's a big old deer. Look how black his hocks are. Big, beautiful antlers made the calendar. Not make any calendar this year, big boy. Broke all your weapons off. You don't want to do that. But you did. Scraggly looking, but what a big old deer. Wow. Big, beautiful buck. I think I'll go back in the building, Jimmy. Make fun of me and say ugly things.